All right, so have you ever thought about what it'd be like to work as a host or a hostess? Like what really goes on behind those welcoming smiles?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those jobs that seems pretty straightforward on the surface.
Totally. But I bet there's a lot more to it than we realize, which is why we're doing a deep dive today on, well, being a hostess.
Should be interesting.
Absolutely. So we're going deep into these awesome resources from RoleCatcher. They've got it all from job descriptions to pros and cons, even interview tips, kind of helping us figure out if this is the career path to like put on our vision boards.
Love it. Sounds super comprehensive.
Yeah, it is. And okay, first impression right off the bat, I noticed they use this phrase is welcome and informed visitor. It sounds
It does have a certain ring to it.
a little formal maybe.
Yeah, like something you'd see on like a super official name tag.
Uh-huh, exactly. But hey, maybe it highlights how crucial communication is in this job. You're the first point of contact, after all.
100%. That first impression can make or break someone's entire experience.
True that. So, welcome and informed visitor it is. But what does that actually look like on a typical day? What are we talking about here?
Basically, you're the friendly face that greets people, answers questions, and makes sure everything runs smoothly. Think restaurants, hotels, even places like airports.
It's funny you mentioned airports. I hadn't thought about that. I usually just picture a busy restaurant when I hear hostess.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do, but RoleCatcher really emphasized just how many different places need hosts and hostesses. We're talking all sorts of environments from hotels and restaurants to, like you said, airports and even transportation, like helping passengers on a cruise ship.
Wow, that's a much broader scope than I imagined. I had no idea.
Right. You could be the first smiling face someone sees as they get off a plane or step onto a cruise ship. Talk about a first impression.
I know, right? So many possibilities. And speaking of possibilities, I was looking through the RoleCatcher guide, and they had this whole section on the pros and cons of being a host-hostess. Some of them were kind of expected, like, okay, long hours come with the territory in a job like that, and the
Yeah.
pay might not be like CEO level right away.
Right. Those are pretty standard for the service industry in general.
Exactly. But then there were some interesting ones, like they mentioned tips could be a good perk and the schedule can be flexible, which, depending on your lifestyle, could be amazing. What are your thoughts on those aspects?
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. It really depends on what you're looking for. Like, if you thrive on a predictable routine, that flexible schedule might actually be a downside.
Totally. Could make it hard to plan other things.
Exactly. But for someone who values work-life balance or has, like, other commitments, it could be a game changer.
For sure. It's about finding that fit.
100%. And we can't forget the physical demands. RoleCatcher didn't shy away from that. You're on your feet a lot, dealing with potentially grumpy travelers, maybe even luggage. It's not always as glamorous as it might seem.
Yeah, lift with your legs, not your back,
Yeah.
probably comes in handy.
Right. You got to be prepared. And then, of course, there's customer service, which is like the heart and soul of this job.
Absolutely. You got to be ready for anything.
Seriously, think about it. Delayed flights, lost reservations, hangry people waiting for a table. You're the one they're going to vent to.
Oh, I can only imagine.
So, being able to stay cool as a cucumber, even when everyone around you is losing it, that's a super valuable skill in this line of work. You gotta have that patience.
Totally agree. I
Okay.
think people underestimate how much emotional intelligence goes into providing excellent customer service.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's true, though, like not everyone realizes how demanding customer service can be. You really need that ability to stay calm and collected no matter what's thrown at you.
But okay, let's say you've got the patience of a saint. You can handle anything. What's next? Like, is there room to grow in this job? Or are you, like, destined to be the hostess forever?
That's a great question, and honestly, I was curious about that too. But RoleCatcher actually lays out a pretty clear career path. You start at the entry level, you're learning the ropes, getting comfortable with the basics greetings, providing information, keeping things running smoothly.
Okay, so like mastering those fundamentals first.
Right.
Huh.
Then as you get more experience, maybe move into a junior role. That's where you might start handling more complicated stuff, dealing with guest issues, working more independently, maybe even coordinating with different teams.
Oh, so you get to be more in the thick of it, problem solving and whatnot.
Exactly. You're not just following a script anymore. And for those who really excel, there's the senior hostess position. Okay. Senior hostess. That has a nice ring to it. What do they do?
They're like the maestro of the whole operation. They make sure everything's in sync and running like a well-oiled machine, overseeing the entire front of house, maybe even collaborating on event planning.
Whoa, hold on. Event planning. That sounds kind of next level, like you're shaping the entire guest experience.
Absolutely. And they talk about how senior hostesses might even develop strategies to, continuously improve things. It's pretty impressive, actually. They really highlighted the growth potential in this role.
Wow, I'm genuinely surprised. I never would have thought of host hosting as having that kind of trajectory.
Yeah.
So let's say someone listening is like, sign me up. What would be their first step? What did RoleCatcher say?
The big one, get some experience. Doesn't have to be paid work right away. Volunteer at events, or even just look for customer-facing jobs like in retail.
Yeah,
Anything where you're honing those people skills.
right, because you can always transfer those skills to a different industry, right?
Right. Exactly. It's all valuable. And then, of course, make sure you're playing up those skills on your resume. Show them what you got. How have you gone above and beyond to create those awesome customer experiences? And don't forget networking.
Networking.
And
Because it's not just for, CEOs and stuff.
Nope. Go to industry events, connect with people on LinkedIn. You never know what opportunities might pop up. Oh, and speaking of opportunities, RoleCatcher even included some sample interview questions. Some of them were really interesting.
Ooh, like what? Give me an example.
Well, one that stood out to me was, how would you handle a customer who's upset about, like, a delayed flight? It's such a classic scenario.
Oh, for sure. Talk about a high-pressure situation.
Yeah.
I bet how you answer that question really reveals a lot about how you handle stress and problem solve on the fly. This has been super eye-opening. I feel like I need to update my resume now.
Me too. I never realized how much went into being a successful hostess. It's more than just a friendly face. You need serious skills. Like, you got to be adaptable, a good communicator, culturally aware, tech savvy. Even RoleCatcher even mentioned technology advances, and obviously a master of customer service.
It's like a whole hidden world of skills we uncovered today. It's truly a career that I think is way more than meets the eye. So if you're out there looking for a job that lets you, brighten someone's day, a job with real growth potential, don't underestimate the power of host hosting. And definitely check out RoleCatcher. They've got tons of free resources and tools to help you figure out your next move.
I'm telling everyone about them. It's such a valuable resource, especially if you're considering this kind of career.
Totally. And on that note, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time.
Bye, everyone.